Well, good morning. It's October 30th. It's a Monday, 2023. And the concrete crew has arrived. Two of the guys are named Joe and Joe, their father's son. And they all understand that I'll be videoing this. They're all cool with it. Yeah, it's about 35 degrees this morning. Yes, that's chilly, but there's no wind. The sun is out. It's supposed to be a nice sunny day today. Tomorrow we may actually get a little rain. You can see I'm moving the rigid insulation. That's one of the aspects of this project that I think is relatively unique. I'm going to have the floor insulated with a couple inches of rigid foam. I'm doing that because having heat loss, it's called a thermal break. You want insulation in the floor so that you don't get heat loss. Thermal break meaning exactly what I say it means. It breaks the continuity between the ground and the concrete. And obviously heat transfers quickly from the concrete into the ground, especially in the Midwest. And that is bad because the end result is you end up with a lot of heat loss. And if you've been standing on concrete before, that really sucks because you get cold all day long. So the insulation will be placed underneath. Life is good. Yep. The other reason we're insulating it now is that clearly this building does not have insulation in the walls. The ceilings will have a special wrap put on it to avoid container sweat. But in the future, the walls may be insulated, there may be power put in, but I can't go backwards and insulate the floor. So it becomes a structure that is heated, etc. You don't want to have a floor that sucks the heat out of it. So the guy in the center is Joe. He's the boss. Those are the two. That's father, son, Joe and Joe. They have a good reputation with the Morton builders. A couple of the car guys, there are a couple of guys here are car guys, and they were commented on the rolling couches, which many of my vehicles are rolling couches. So we'll get to see how this works out. I assume it's going to be great. Life is good. It's colored and snot. I'll be back. So what's going on now is there's going to be, like I said, 2 inches of foam for the thermal break. There'll be 5 inches of concrete. And as you've noticed, I'll leave the barn, it's a little noisy. There is a concrete piece right here. That's the concrete. The floor will be at this height, so they have to have 7 inches from here to here. So he is grading it so they can drop this gravel down 7 inches. 2 inches for the foam, 5 inches for the concrete. So it meets right at the level where that cement board is. They're apparently going to be working on this section today and then do this section. Not 100% sure. It has always been my impression when the house was built and the guys who do the concrete, they're not much of talkers. The guys who built the pole barn were a little more verbal. These guys are, let's get it done. Let's not screw around. I appreciate that. You gotta appreciate their professionalism and how seriously they take their job. Way over in the corner there, it's a little hard to see. There's a laser level, and that's how they're doing the height. Let's see, we got Yeah, it's quite a crew. Ooh, it is cold out here. Man, nothing like being 37 degrees with a good 10-mile-an-hour breeze. Ooh, yeah, baby. The wind chill, I don't know what it is. I don't like it. But it's not going to get warmer in the next 3 or 4 months, so I might as well enjoy it now. I have to dress a little heavier. Yeah. What great fun to watch. Watching the floor poured and watching these guys do it. And I think I mentioned before in some of the other videos, Joe has a good reputation with Morton. And let's walk over to their vehicle. I always like to give the guys who are doing the work the advertising that they deserve. Yeah. So, more videos during the day. We got to see the progress. Moving the gravel around, evening up the floor. So, be back. All right. About 30 minutes later. They're leveling the floor. They're tamping it down, getting a nice hard surface. I'm going to keep my distance away. One thing I've learned, like I say about this heavy equipment, is you got to be careful. And you can see the stick he's using. He is using the laser to make sure that he's getting his 7 inches. I'm always impressed. Now he just gave his finger up, telling him 1 more inch. These guys are good at what they do. But I'm always impressed with the trades. And see, he continues to measure it with that little stick there, making sure it's 1 inch, or 7 inches total. And now he's giving him a signal about how there's a little bit of a curve. And you can see the other guy, he's spreading out with his rake. They're obviously happy with this area over here. They're tamping it down. This reminds me of painting. It's all about prep. So Joe, the plastic is to keep the moisture from coming up, right? And the insulation is, yeah. I don't want to come across as an authority. So these guys are moving really quick. They're like a machine. So as you saw earlier, they leveled this out here. Make sure that we have the 7 inches. We've got the plastic, which stops moisture from coming up from the ground. Hard to believe, but there's a lot of moisture in the ground. So the plastic keeps the moisture from coming up. The insulation stops the cold floors. And then that is the laser level. This is the laser level, and it's constantly giving a constant level in the room. And then they're going to put the concrete up. You can see the concrete board right here.
Right there. Gotcha.
Awesome. It's starting to look like a barn. So, I'm not sure they're real fans of me recording them, but they're being very nice about it. They're being very pleasant. Looks great. So, I'll be back. Well, I had to take a video of this because it sort of shows everything at the same time. You can see them pounding in these steel stakes. And I'll get up close for you. you can see these pieces of wood. Well, they're putting them on top of the insulation, because when they pour the concrete, it will stop the concrete from coming over the edge. They're obviously preparing this area, leveling it like they've done this spot. They'll put the plastic, as explained before, that stops the moisture, the insulation, which is insulation. And I was talking to Joe, the guy in charge, about curing of concrete, because I've been told 30 days. He said it's actually 28, but it depends upon many factors, and one of the factors is the temperature. He says obviously when it gets colder, it takes longer to cure. Now he knows I'm going to be putting cars in here, and his feeling was, 10 days you can probably put a car in, but the maximum cure for any weight is 28 days. I'm going to observe the requirement for 28 or 30 days, because there's no reason to push it and ruin the product. So the fact that the plastic is down on the ground impedes moisture, and that slows the cure rate of the concrete. The insulation apparently impedes the cure rate of the concrete. Oh, these guys are rocking it. They've been at it for maybe 2 hours. So I got some appointments I got to go to. Ooh, I forgot to mention one thing. That little tool over there, it's got the little blade. That's called a screed. It's how they smooth the concrete. It's a screed. I don't know how to spell it. I'll look it up. So I'll be back. All right, nice touch here on the insulation. That is insulation. And why is it important to have it on the edges of the concrete? Because if you look at heat signatures with a FLIR camera, F-L-I-R, you'll see in really cold weather, you'll see heat coming through the concrete, through the uninsulated areas. So having the insulation on the side of the concrete pad is wonderful, because it reduces the amount of heat loss. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than just having bare concrete, which will just leak heat perpetually out to the environment. Or in the opposite direction, if you live in a place that's hot, it's going to bring heat into the building because it's not insulated. So it is another thermal break with the environment. Oh, they've done the other side. They're doing the center, and they're finishing the concrete. Oh yeah, that is nice. These guys are quick. I assume that this is going to be done today. So in 30 days or 28, it'll be fully cured. Looking good. Yeah, these guys are animals. They're amazing. So life is good. I will be back. Bye.